regular council public hearing meeting to order. And first, looking for an adoption of minutes, special regular of May 25.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move the minutes be received for council and committee May 25th.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move the minutes be adopted land use May 25th.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And move the minutes be adopted public hearing May 25th.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried. We have a special presentation this evening from Anna Matheson, our Manager of Sustainability. Anna, did you want to speak to the special guests we have with us tonight?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm happy to be here tonight with Renate Sitch. She's with the BC Sustainable Energy Association. She's the Program Manager for Training and Education. And we have the happy task of presenting the Winning Class Award for the Climate Change Showdown 2014-15 within the City of Surrey. So before we hand it over to Mayor and Council to present the certificate to the winning class and take some photos, Renate will tell you a little bit about the showdown.
Thank you, and thank you for having us in your classrooms in the City of Surrey. We're very grateful to be here for another successful year. So a little bit about the Climate Change Showdown. This is a program under the BC Sustainable Energy Association, and this is our 9th year running. We're somewhere over 60,000 tons provincially, and I think Anna is going to tell you the good news on how many greenhouse gases we've saved here in Surrey. Essentially, we start the workshop off in the classrooms with a very futuristic, happy storytelling way on the solutions of climate change through a storytelling piece as well as a 20-minute video that is narrated by Rick Mercer. We engage the class and through various activities and games, and then we will send them home with a contest to lead their families through a very solutions-based thinking approach to reducing greenhouse gases, energy, water, waste, everything, all the important things, and then we calculate that the total in points per class. We calculate that into a greenhouse gas savings as well as determining the winners for the region. And so we have a couple of very great, individual students in each classes that we recognize, and we send awards to individually. And we also make sure that we are recognizing the other classes that participate in the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Renata.
So we're in the 6th year of sponsoring this program in our elementary schools. The program is very much aligned with our community energy and emissions plan about reducing energy use and greenhouse gas emissions across the city. So in 2014-15, we had 35 workshops in the Surrey School District aimed at grades 4 to 7. And we reached 933 students, and the measured greenhouse gas savings this year was a little over 500 tons, and it's a little over 3,000 tons over the 6 years that we've been working with the BC Sustainable Energy Association. So as Renate said, we really want to thank Surrey schools, the principals and the teachers for allowing this program into their schools and supporting it. And we do also want to thank Travel Smart because they did provide some additional support for workshops in the City of Surrey. So it was a very close year, and I did want to acknowledge, in case anyone is watching, we had 3 running-up classes, Kathy Rosenthal's class from Boundary Park Elementary, and 2 from Bonnecourt Elementary, Erica Segek, and Megan Birdsall's classes. So I did want to acknowledge we had 3 close runners-up. But the winning class this year, the top class in the Climate Change Showdown, is from Walnut Road Elementary. And the teachers are Cheryl Goss and Jen Zadrill. They had a pizza party last week with some prizes handed out, and we will have some additional prizes from the city that we'll be giving them when we leave the chambers tonight. And maybe if I could ask the students from the class, first of all, well done. And secondly, if you can just come up on the stage and we'll get a photo and a certificate. And if Mayor and Council could also come out, we'll get some photos taken.
Well, congratulations, Walnut Grove, or Walnut Road Elementary, and to the students, thank you for all your hard work. And to all the students across the city, the 944 that have been actively engaged in this is really important work, and I'm so proud of the schools for taking it on and for assisting us in our messaging. So thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for all the work that you've done.
So, Madam Mayor, can I call for, you want me to change the agenda?
No. I'm going to ask if we can just adjust the agenda to move forward corporate reports 098, R098, R109, and R123. If I could have a motion.
So move that we do that.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And Councillor Hain.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I had the opportunity this past weekend to be at the ICF conference, the Intelligent Community Forum conference in Toronto, where the City of Surrey was a top 7 recipient of Intelligent Community of the Year. And this is quite something, considering that there was over 400 applicants from around the world, and we made the top 21 earlier in the year, and then we were selected top 7. And we were in some great company with places like Arlington, West Virginia, with Rio de Janeiro, with New Taipei City in Taiwan, with Ipswich in Australia. It was from all over the world. And what they look at is criteria for using technology to deliver services better, to be able to provide open data and accurate data to citizens, as well as to develop broadband strategies across the entire city. And so it was a terrific conference. It was a tremendous conference, and at that time, or during the conference, the top city in the world was crowned, and that city was Columbus, Ohio this year, and they've done a wonderful job with their digital inclusion, and particularly for their less fortunate neighborhoods and what they're doing with broadband strategy and so on. But really, this is about economic development and how digital technology, how broadband can provide economic opportunities for a city, and we're seeing that right now with Innovation Boulevard, with Eco-Newton, with our clean tech strategy, and those kind of things are going to be advanced more and more. And so the connections that we made over the weekend, Sean Simpson, our acting manager of IT, was with me, and I want to mention as well, Donna Jones has done a tremendous amount of work through economic development. But I'm so proud of our staff and of our city for being top 7 in the world, and I know we're going to get to top 1, but I'd like to present you with this if I could.
Thank you, Councillor, and I'm sure that the things that you've learned at the conference will be implementing in our city to make us to the top of the world.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, if I could move into those corporate reports, 098, we had a presentation on that this afternoon, CIC, the Vulnerable Women's Update.
I'll move R098, and it was a really great report, and it's the first phase of the Vulnerable Women's Project, and there's a secondary.
Second.
Thank you. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And we look forward to the update on those workshops at the end of this year. Secondly, 109, the award of contract for the construction of improvements to the RCMP detachment.
I'll move that.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And finally, R123, the Empower Me mentoring program to support energy efficiency, water conservation, and safety.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Female may go staff. Thank you for being here this evening. Moving on to delegations and the public hearing portion of the meeting. First delegation, Madam.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18457. The address is 2725 192nd Street. The applicant is CSV Holdings Limited. The applicant is seeking to amend comprehensive development bylaw number 16180 in order to allow a standalone liquor store in the existing building on the site.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 1? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18458. The address is 16330 24th Avenue. The applicants are William and Ann Doby, and the applicant is seeking to rezone the site from 1-acre residential to comprehensive development. The applicant is proposing to develop a 170-unit townhouse complex.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. We have one letter in opposition. Anyone wishing to speak to this bylaw? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18459. The addresses are 2830, 2910, 2970, 188th Street, and 2969, 190th Street. The applicants are Fir Ridge Holdings Incorporated, Ronald and Sandra Heppel, and the applicants are seeking to rezone the site from general agriculture to business park 3 zone. The applicant is proposing to develop a 19,895 square meter warehouse light manufacturing facility.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 3? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18460. The addresses are 15331, 15345, 15355, 15361, and 15371 101st Avenue, plus a portion of the lane. The applicants are Jack Mills, Annapreet Madan, Dashanender and Rajpal Kohli, Kulwinder Madan, and the City of Surrey. The applicants are seeking to rezone the site from 1-acre residential to comprehensive development. And the applicants are proposing to develop a 5-story apartment building with a 2-story townhouse base consisting of approximately 90 dwelling units.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have a petition with 93 signatures opposed, and I have 3 people wishing to speak to this bylaw. I'll call forward Carlos Baca. Mr. Baca, please.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity of speaking. We are the neighbors that live in front of this proposed development. Escada is we are a strata complex right across the street. We are concerned about the densification of this project. We consider it to be very, very dense. There is no other strata in the area that is so dense as this one. So we do have a few things we would like to say. The CD zoning allows the municipality to negotiate with developers to obtain amenities such as additional parkland, tree retention, stormwater management, etc. And CD zones can also be used to impose site-specific development requirements as a package. We would like to know if the city has requested any requirements or any amenities for the community for this development. Also, it seems like the population grows, but the amenities for the residents provided by the city does not improve or is not adjusted to satisfy a larger demand. If densification is permitted, the city should consider improving or adding urban infrastructure, parks and schools. We have a couple of examples that worry us, that concern us. For example, the park we all go to in the Guildford Heights Park. It only has 2 benches, 4 swings, and a teeny playground. We would like the city to consider adding infrastructure to our parks if they're going to consider adding people to a place that was considered for 5 families that will now be holding 90 families. The second concern is the school. The school in this area, the catchment for this area is Harold Bishop, which is on 104th Avenue. And that school is already overpopulated, as most schools in the city, or some schools in the city, but specifically Harold Bishop is. And Harold Bishop has already been saturated by recent developments in the area, like the one on 104th Avenue, which is right next to the school. They're just finishing building it. It's called Chroma, with 29 apartments. Another development just completed last year on 104th Avenue, next to the school, also has 57 townhouses. On 105th Avenue, we have another new development that was concluded last year, which is called G3, with 150 units. We are now, they're starting the construction of a new development with 170 townhouses, which is called Guildford the Great, on Guildford Drive in front of the Auto Mall. So now you're going to give a permit for another 90 houses for the same school. So that is a big concern. The city, or this part of the city, is being densified, but the services the city provides or the infrastructure are not keeping up with that densification. Thank you. That is our concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Baca. Next, I have a Marilee Schelp.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to this particular application. 8 years ago, when my husband and I decided to downsize from our standalone home and purchase a condo, we looked all over the Lower Mainland, and we chose to come to Surrey, and we purchased in Charlton Park, which is CD, the one right above this proposed complex. And we chose this area because we were close to Fraser Health Unit, shopping and things like that, but those were all basically 2-story buildings. All of the multifamily complexes around there were all at most 4 stories, and many of the townhouses were 3 stories, and they were single-family homes, such as the 2-family homes that have just been built to the west of this proposal. And it was a very livable neighborhood, and that's what we chose, because people in multifamily complexes deserve to have livable neighborhoods, just like people in single-home residential areas. And this is a very livable area. The only thing that hadn't been developed really right in that area was that sort of a half block in there. And my husband did talk to some people, and they said, oh, well, that's all zoned for single family, and if there's a change in the zoning, it would likely be for 3-story townhomes at the most, and that's what we figured it'd probably be. There's still parking to be had around the area. The streets are not so crowded that you could barely get through them and things like that. Imagine our shock when we read this proposal about a 5-story, 90-unit complex to be built on 5 residential lots. Very small footprint, huge complex for that. And so we were thinking, what's going to happen with traffic congestion? Because all of us know when you have an apartment, and even though you have parking underneath the apartment, people still park on the street. visitors, and people that have 2 cars instead of 1 car with their one place to park. And so it's going to be really congested. Not to mention 101 Avenue is a pretty narrow avenue in there. And if it's being built right to the line, and people try to park on there, it's going to be very difficult to drive through there. So it's going to create all kinds of congestion, which doesn't make it very livable, because right now, from 100th Avenue all the way up, you've got everything that's either 3 or 4 stories or less. And so it's a very livable area, and that's what we're really concerned about, because we like living where we are, and we like that it's very livable. And it's fair that multi-dwelling families have the right to have a livability area. We're also concerned that putting that big, tall building in there with the ensuing congestion and problems with schools and all those kinds of things will decrease the value of our condo, which we purchased 8 years ago. And that doesn't seem fair, that it gets dropped down just because of this great big tall building that's stuck in there. It really is out of character with that 5-story and 90 families in there. I don't know what, it's going to be really congested. So that's what we're concerned about, is the extreme density, which will create lots of congestion. It won't make our area nearly as livable. If they were to have approval for a whole row of family homes that are, townhomes rather, that are 3-story, that would fit right in with the whole neighborhood. But a 5-story building really seems very ridiculous and not very characteristic of everything that Surrey's been doing, because we're so impressed with Surrey, all the things they've done to make it livable. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Lian Shen?
It's me. Thank you. Sorry for my English. It's not so good, but do my best. I'm Lian Shen, living above we call the Charlton Park. We have 360, around 350 units living here. It's good. I'm a councillor of this Charlton Park. I do my best to build our community, the best community. Everybody like it here. So this is my volunteer work for working with community. But this, when I got this proposal, I talked to my neighbors. I knocked the door, say, what's your opinion about the Surrey government to change the plan to set up 5-story buildings. 5 years ago, when I purchased this unit, I called the Surrey government to say, because I saw this place is supposed for single house, and it's a beautiful place. They have lots of single house there. And I called Surrey centers. I say, Surrey government, I say, is any proposal we will change this landscape? They say no. Up to now, no. 20 years, I believe 20 years, no changes. So okay, very good. So up to now, if you can see still like this 5 house changed new building, but still 2 sides is single house. So my concerns, all the concerns from they see as a density, as a parking lot. As a council member, we very care about the parking lot. 90 units we are living here instead of 5 families. 101 Avenue, if you go there, here the street, both parking the cars. Now it's parking the cars. If 90 units coming, where's the street parking? Look around the map. We don't have a public parking for this area. No parking in this area. So I don't know where we can park in the area. It's definitely will affect our community life. As I said, as the sign say, intelligent community for here in Surrey. We love Surrey. We hope the Surrey government can make an intelligent plan for our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have 90 owners signed against this. I sent an email to already them. I have 90 owners.
It is a petition of 90 signatures.
Yeah.
Council has received that petition.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Is there... Councillor Martin, did you have a question, Councillor Martin? Mr. Shen?
I have two questions, one for the delegation and one for through planning. First of all, did you say, I just want to confirm this, you live in a place that has 50 units? How many units do you live in?
I live in my Chatham Park.
Yes.
350.
350.
Yeah.
And how tall is that building?
Four. There are 3 buildings, 4 stairs.
I see.
Yeah, because we have like why the committee is very good because we have 3 buildings around the area, and they have a courtyard, beautiful courtyard, and we have lots of parking place. It's a very good place. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And through Mr. Planner, I understand through the report that the parking will all be provided underground, so there'll be no street parking. Is that correct?
Madam Mayor, to Councillor Martin, all of the required off-street parking will be provided in the underground parkade, but there will also be on-street parking along 101 Avenue.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have no one else signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to bylaw number 4? First call. Please, sir, you come forward.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to sign my name on the paper. Okay, so
Would you like to give your name, please, and your address to the clerk?
My name is Ted Tai, T-E-D-T-A-I. I live in the apartment building just right in front of a development, this area.
The 350 charter?
No, 350 is behind it. I'm in front of it. Okay, so the BL 15946.
Okay, just to the south of it.
Yes, and when I look at the floor plan of this development area, I notice the parquet entrance, or you can call it exit, is right in front of my unit. Okay, for 90 units, okay, I cannot imagine how many cars are going in and out every day, every night. Okay, their headlight from the vehicle is going to shoot directly into my unit. Okay, that will decrease the value of my unit big time. I would like somebody to really reconsider this, because when I purchased my unit, I would never imagine somebody will have a headlight shooting to me every day, every night. Okay, that's totally, I don't know what to say. I'm totally shocked when I look at the proposal and look at the floor plan. Yeah, that's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Is there anyone else? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Katerina Vas. I am Ascada Consul, Strata Consul from Ascada, which is 15946. So actually, Carlos is my colleague. He also treasurer, and I'm secretary. So, and we are here. I'm here to add what others didn't say. So we discuss about density of the development. Also, I'm looking at aesthetics. So a 5-story building aesthetically in our neighborhood is going to stood out. Even Guildford Mall have only 2 or 3 floors, right, if you compare. So aesthetically, I think it will decrease value of our community. Also, I would like to say that I am living facing the new development, and as much as I like green zones there right now, I still prefer to have a single family homes, not a 5-story development with townhouses. Also, I have another concern. We are a mix of townhouses and apartments. And as a strata, we actually have a lot of trouble between ourselves internally. Till last year when we separate us by groups, correct, Carlos? Types. So it became easy to manage. So now you're thinking about another development which is going to have townhouses and apartments, and probably developer will not introduce any types from the beginning, and it will be people who will be living there, making sure to enforce a correct communication between townhouses and apartments. And believe me, it's a struggle. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to this bylaw? And anyone after this gentleman? You, sir, will then be the final speaker for bylaw 4.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Maciej Dembek from Barnett Dembek Architects. I'd like to answer any questions anyone has or provide clarification for some of the issues that have certainly been raised and are certainly valid. With respect to the narrowness of the existing street, of course, this development will be widening the street and adding reasonable parking stalls along the side of it. So it will indeed be more passable than it is now. The full amount of required parking, both for the residents and the visitors, will be provided below grade on the property. So even visitor parking is provided below grade and theoretically won't use the street. What we're providing on street parking is parking for the neighborhood in general. It's not the required parking for the development itself. The speaker just before me talked about conflict between townhouse owners and apartment owners. I do know that on that particular property to the south of us, the townhouses are separate buildings from the apartment buildings, and I could see how there might be a bit of conflict or difficulties between the various owners of the townhouse and the apartments. In our case, they're all in the same building, so it's the same strata in the same building, same owner, same user group, basically. So I don't think hopefully we wouldn't end up with the kind of tensions that are occurring elsewhere. With respect to density, this particular block is very much under density as it exists right now. It's all single-family properties in an area that is completely zoned for multifamily housing. Most of these lots, or half of them possibly, are empty. On this particular site with our 5 lots, 3 have no dwelling on them at all, so it's very much underutilized. I mean, that's pretty clear. What we're proposing is a density of 2.0 FAR, which is indeed higher than the surrounding areas. The one to the south of us is 1.3. The one to the north of this block is 1.5 FAR. But given the way Surrey has been growing and how this has been identified as a Fleetwood town centre, or as an urban centre, there is a real push on, of course, to give more dense priority to density in these kinds of areas, which is how we end up with a 2.0 FAR that's being proposed. It makes sense on this property, given that we're only one block away from rapid transit bus, or proposed rapid transit bus line, and existing transit on 152nd. On 104th Avenue, there is proposed a light rail line, which is, within walking distance of here when that does happen. So these kinds of densities do make sense, indeed, in this kind of area. The developer will be providing a voluntary parks contribution, which hopefully would go directly into the local park in the area. That's beyond our control. That's up to Surrey Parks Department in terms of how they wish to allocate these funds. If I could give this to the planner. There have been a lot of comments about the height of the building. The building to the south of us, I was hoping this would show up a little better than the version that came off of the Surrey file. It looks a bit better. The building to the south of us is 4 stories. The building to the north of this block is 4 stories. We have a 5-story building, but we've been very conscientious of the fact that we are taller than our neighbors and trying to work in that context and accommodate the fact that this is the way it exists. What we've deliberately done is we have put a very extensive cornice on the 4th floor or the 5th floor level, so that there's a real 4-story reading. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you see the street view along the sidewalk. I mean, the building sticks out so much at the 4th floor ceiling level that it has a 4-story appearance. Once you start moving back across the street, do you then start seeing the 5th story, which is actually set back from the floors below. So we've been very conscious to make sure that the building actually has some sort of a perceived difference in the top floor and steps back to actually accommodate neighbors in this way. The building across the street, for example, has its full 4 stories and an extra vaulted ceiling area that occurs right on the front plane of the building, so it's right on the street face. Here we've set that back from the first plane of the building to the back of the deck areas, so where we do pop up at all higher is at those back deck areas. This building, if you look at the upper right-hand rendering, the one that's straight on, we've actually deliberately taken the building and sliced a gap out of the massing in the middle of it so that it breaks it into 2 smaller components. So although the building is about the same size as the 2 buildings on the south side of the street, it's actually sliced in the middle and has a real shadow line in between there. So again, we're trying to break down the massing, break down the scale of the building to try to address the fact that, you know, we are taller and bigger than our neighbors, but we think we can do it in a comfortable manner. Any shadow cast by this building will fall to the north, obviously, so it won't affect the neighbors to the south. The neighbors on the block to the north are a block away, so they should have minimal shadow casting from our particular proposal. The townhouse units themselves are right along the street face on the front of the building, so it's our hope that that actually provides, you know, another type of unit within the whole complex. So we have 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, and 2- and 3-bedroom townhouse units to give a real variety to hopefully entice a variety of homesteads into this building and into this area. There was one other comment. No, I think that was it. If there's any questions, please, by all means, ask.
Councillor Hayne.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And it may be a question for yourself or as well through to staff, and it's with respect to the remainder of the block. And the artist renderings here certainly are showing the building, of course, in isolation. But as one of the delegations pointed out, there's 2 single-family homes on to the west and to the east of this. And what, if any, discussions have gone on or considerations? And again, my question may be to you or straight through to planning with respect to finishing out that block, and what would that look like? Thank you.
There was a document we prepared showing this kind of building arrangement on the whole block. And what we did show, if you notice, there were 2 lots on either side of this, that those 2 and the 2 to the north across the lane would actually fill in and become potentially another apartment building. And then the 5 lots to the north of this one would be a 3rd one, so there'd be 4 altogether potentially in this block. One other item we did do, we are providing a knockout wall at the base of our parking ramp, so our ramp will actually provide access for the potential building on the 4 lots that are to the east of this particular site.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
What about the comments that were made from one of the speakers relative to parking and the cars accessing and egressing the site, shining directly into the one across to the south?
That's an interesting point. Someone's going to get hit by this, there's no question. I mean, we could mirror the entire building, but in that case, someone else gets lights in their units. We could, I mean, I think it's possible that we could talk to this particular unit owner and perhaps offer some planting or something in his front yard to help screen that kind of light nuisance, which it's going to happen. There's no, I couldn't deny that. That's a given.
Thank you for that. Councillor Villeneuve.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to our staff, I just was trying to look for any kind of comments from the school board on this project, because I'm missing it. Yeah. Wonder where that is.
The local elementary is below capacity.
Is below capacity?
Yeah.
Thank you. I just was clarifying that the local elementary school is below capacity at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, through Madam Mayor to Councillor Villeneuve, yes, referral was done to the school district, and both the high school and the elementary school have capacity.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, that completes bylaw number 4. Bylaw number 5, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18456. The address is 15304 68th Avenue, and the applicant is 0872090 BC Limited. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from 1-acre residential to comprehensive development. The applicant is proposing to develop a multi-tenant light industrial building with a limited second-floor office space.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 5? First call, second call, third and final call. Seeing no one, bylaw number 6, Madam Clerk.
Final bylaw, zoning text amendment bylaw 18455. The applicant is the City of Surrey. This amendment will update the Business Park 3 zone, the IB3, to include setback and landscape provisions consistent with other business park zones and incorporate housekeeping changes to bring the zoning bylaw into compliance with the land designations for mixed employment and suburban-urban reserve as defined in the official community plan.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 6? First call, second call, third and final call. Thank you, and that concludes the public hearing portion of our meeting agenda. Committee reports, moving on to the Social Policy Advisory Committee meeting.
I'll move the minutes be received as Social Policy April 1st.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And I'll move the recommendation be adopted.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the minutes be received for Investment and Innovation Committee, April 20th.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And I'll move the minutes of the Cultural Development Advisory Committee of April 21st.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the Environmental Sustainability Advisory Committee of April 22nd, 2015 minutes to be received.
Second.
And move the recommendations to be adopted.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I'll move the Seniors Advisory and Accessibility Committee of May 5th, 2015.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the minutes to be received from the Agricultural Food Security Advisory Committee, May 14th, 2015.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the minutes to be received from the Surrey Heritage Advisory Commission.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And I'll move the recommendations to be adopted as per the April 20th.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. I have 3 proclamations tonight. The first one is on World Refugee Day, whereas the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is mandated by the United Nations General Assembly to lead and coordinate international action to protect refugees and find solutions to refugee problems worldwide. And whereas it is important to recognize that Canada has a long history of helping and protecting refugees and is signatory to the 1951 United Nations Convention relating to the status of refugees and its 1967 protocol. And whereas World Refugee Day 2015 recognizes that refugees are ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances, each with a story to tell. And whereas the City of Surrey and its people continue to welcome refugees and resources available for refugees and their families to have a dignified life. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare June 20, 2015 as World Refugee Day in the City of Surrey. Just need them to take away that requirement for refugees to repay that loan, Councillor. Yes. My second proclamation this week is for Amateur Radio Week. Whereas amateur radio operators are celebrating over a century of the miracle of the human voice broadcast over the airwaves, and whereas amateur radio has provided a bridge between peoples, societies and countries by creating friendships and the sharing of ideas, and whereas the City of Surrey has several hundred licensed amateur radio operators who provide radio communications during emergencies and public service events, and whereas amateur radio operators in the City of Surrey donate their services without compensation, and whereas amateur radio operators are on alert for any emergency, local, regional, or worldwide, now therefore be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare the week of June 21 to 28 as Amateur Radio Week in the City of Surrey in recognition of this important emergency preparedness exercise that will take place on June 27 and 28, demonstrating radio amateur skills and readiness to provide self-supporting communications without the need for additional infrastructure. It's a great assistance they are to the City of Surrey, and if anyone has a chance to go to their demonstrations, it's really worthwhile. Next on my agenda is Surrey Pride Day, June the 28th. Whereas the City of Surrey is proud to be home of ethnically and culturally diverse people who contribute to our strength and vitality, and whereas there are hundreds of Pride celebrations, festivals, and Pride-related special events held in Canada throughout the year, and whereas the Pride celebration is targeted to the thousands of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender individuals and families, including the heterosexual community, living within Surrey and the Fraser Valley area, and whereas Surrey Pride Society and its many tireless volunteers provide education, support, and a safe environment for all people. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare June 28, 2015 as Surrey Pride Day in the City of Surrey. Moving on to corporate reports. R98 we dealt with, R099.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the recommendation on R100.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the award of contract for the district energy system utility.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R102, award of contract for sidewalk construction.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R103, award of contract for arterial paving.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R104, bylaw amendments to support improvements to construction traffic management.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R105, update on the status of Surrey Light Rail Transit Project.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R106, amendments to street and housing number bylaw, number 1500.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R107, late grant application for the Newton community. Sorry.
Before we move on, Councillor Gill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just in terms of corporate report R106, amendments to street and house numbering, I was approached by two religious institutions that were inquiring about some street signs that may have been removed, and staff have provided some context in terms of email correspondence, and I think that we may be inviting these two delegations to the Transportation Infrastructure Committee to come and provide additional information as it pertains to signage that was previously put up at a past date.
Historical signage?
Historical date. In fact, it might have been from a former mayor.
Good. Era, from a former era.
Thank you. So move.
I'll move I'll ask now for a mover for the late grant application for the Newton Festival.
Move.
Second. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R108, late grant for the Surrey Live Well Street Fair.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R110, Surrey City Development Corporation Annual General Meeting for 2015.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R111, Measuring Up.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R112,
Spectator.
Thank you. Sport Facility, Request for Expressions of Interest.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R113, Simon Fraser University Central City Student Community Engagement Competition and Grand Award.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R114, Community Enhancement Partnership Program Grant for a block party.
All those in favor? Opposed? Who could be opposed to a block party? Community Enhancement Partnership.
Move R115.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R116, Community Enhancement Partnership for another block party.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the R117 funding request for Yellowbro Youth Initiative.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R118 funding request Newton Pop-Up Arts Space Pilot Project.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R119 funding request for the 2015 Pulling Together Canoe Journey.
Second.
Second.
Move
All those in favor?
I'm in favor.
Opposed? Carried on R19.
Move R120, funding request for the Canada Cup Field Hockey event.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move R121, the Guildford Indoor Pool Project Management.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R122, proposed process for the termination of land use contracts.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And lastly,
And we dealt with
that one, so that
R123. Just want to make a comment regarding all of the corporate reports tonight and the people that in the community that are taking advantage of community enhancement partnerships. I think this is the most we have seen in a single year, so it's nice to know that folk are understanding that's an opportunity available to them, and it's an opportunity to create a sense of community in whatever fashion they choose. I also want to say, relative to the Guildford Pool, that was a fabulous opening and a wonderful new structure, and kudos to those that arranged the day for the public. And I know every time that I have gone near that facility now, it is packed, so it's a great new addition to Surrey's infrastructure. Councillor Villeneuve.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, we were going so quickly through those reports. I just wanted to make a couple comments on number R1118. It's the Newton Pop-Up Art Space Pilot Project.
Oh, yes, great.
And
yes.
this is a project that we've been working with BIA and our Parks and Arts staff to get a new space off the ground on 137A Street in Newton, which is that lovely little street that's 2.5 blocks with the shops in front and the street gates, and the same street as the community policing station.
Mm-hmm.
So we've asked for $11,000 from the Council Initiative Fund to actually get a space off of the ground that artists are going to be able to use. And we're going to start the project sort of more with contemporary artists, so artists are going to actually program a lot of the space themselves and to do projects that are sort of relative to the community. And there's several sets of professional artists that are really looking forward to this new endeavor and wanting to make a good contribution to Newton at this time. So the city is going to fund the space. And we have a group of artists called the Collective, the Day of Drawing Collective, that are professional artists, 11 of them, that are going to take the windows down the streets, including the RCMP building, and frame those and do artworks in the buildings to sort of create an exciting atmosphere. And then the space is going to be programmed with an exhibition that sort of complements the eco-business the Newton Business Association is getting off the ground, as well as there will be opportunities for the Kwantlen students and the Newton Cultural Center and Newton artists to participate in this space. So I think it's really an exciting part of the cultural corridor that we promised to get off the ground, and I think that the timing is right in Newton, and I think it's going to be a dynamic little cultural hub.
I think it's
once it gets off the ground.
It is a great start to our cultural corridor initiative, and I look forward to seeing the results of it. I know that that is a particularly interesting street that I think we can make really dynamic in that Newton core. So thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention.
And thanks to staff, they've worked hard as well.
Moving on, under H1.
Move third on 1.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move final adoption.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 2.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 3.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Fourth.
What is the wish of
Third
council?
on 4.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 5.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 6.
Second.
All those, do I have a seconder?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. 7. DVP.
Development variance on 7.
I'll second that for discussion.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. DVP 8.
Oh, well.
Discussion.
Member?
You want discussion on 7?
Discussion?
Is that what you said?
No.
No, moved.
It's okay.
On a discussion. Is there anyone who wants to say? Mary, sorry, you haven't got your... Thank you. Here we go. Go ahead, Councillor.
I just wanted to make a remark on the Scott Road Family Care Medical. This particular building and practitioners that are in there take care of mostly senior people who don't have the opportunity to get to a far away, even 2 or 3 blocks is sometimes difficult for them to get to a pharmacy, and some of those pharmacies may be closed at the time. This allows those folks to be able to get their medication immediately after seeing the practitioner, and I truly believe, I understand that there's quite a few pharmacies around in that area that we appreciate having, but I do believe that this is going to be good for this particular development. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Moving on to number 8.
Move DVP 7913011701 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 9, move DVP 7914003301.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 10, move DVP 7907020501 be approved.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 11, move DVP 7912034301 be approved.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 12, move DVP 7915013200 be approved.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move 13, the DVP 7911011101.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And then move that council support the issuance of DVP 7911011101 upon final adoption of the related bylaw.
Second.
Sorry, I repeated that. My apologies.
That's a repeat.
That's a repeat.
Yes. Okay.
So move first on 14.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second on 14.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 15, move first.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? carried.
Move third.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 16, move first.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Delegation requests. I have Alexandra Neighborhood House.
I'll move that delegation request be heard at CIC.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Both B and C, I would suggest be referred back to staff. The realty staff are working, the engineering staff are working with these two different groups. I'll second that.
So moved.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. That's for B and C, Madam Clerk.
Move the parking patroller appointment on 2.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the 2016 council meeting schedule.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And under number 4, conferences, the 22nd World Congress and Exhibition on Intelligent Transportation Systems.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Any notices of motion? Any other business? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.